Caleb Williams and Luther Burden have their best practice as of yet, and we get a little bit of a shocking update today on Jaylen Johnson. We'll talk about all that on today's episode of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. Let's go. Now, if you are new to the channel, please hit that like button. Please subscribe to the page. We do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel, only channel talking Chicago sports, how Chicago talks. Make sure that you get in tune with us, man. Let's start it off here. Caleb Williams balled out today. I mean, an absolutely dominant day from him. Loved what we saw in full pads. That's very important to throw that in there. This was a full practice. It sounds like, per Ben Johnson this morning, and based on what we saw, this was the most difficult practice, and a lot of things were going to be sorted out after this practice. You had the left tackle competition, of course, to talk about there. Caleb Williams and how he played. I thought the biggest thing of the day, though, was Luther Burden being able to truly go out there and show what he was able to do, and Caleb Williams on a consistent basis being able to find him a couple of really nice routes. I thought Caleb showed some really good patience today, and when talking about building a connection, I mean, we're 3 days into this, and we see that connection continuing to build up day over day. That's the part that gets you excited about what this offense can be, when you start to see all of the tools come into place, and the fact that it's hitting on a day where, like I said, Ben Johnson said, this is going to be the toughest practice. This is where decisions are going to be made. This is where things are going to get done for who's really wants to be on this team, who's just trying to get through camp, and who wants to go out there and dominate. And it seemed like Caleb Williams really took advantage of the dominate model today. I mean, he seemed very on time with just about, I'd say just about all of his reads. He didn't seem like he was missing things. Again, some of the small things that we talk about, right? Had a nice pass underneath to Cole Kmet in 11-on-11 periods. By the way, all 11-on-11 periods. We're not doing any 7-on-7. We're tackling to the ground. We're doing 11-on-11. We're playing real football. We're practicing real football to prepare us for real football. Love that from Ben Johnson. But you see now Caleb Williams just continually growing day over day. And when Ben Johnson says the toughest practice is the day, this is the one where decisions are going to be made, that's where you saw him truly go out there and ball out. I thought that just how he was going through his progression, how he was getting to right which read was the right read, even a couple of times where the read wasn't there and the play was well covered by the defense, because I thought the defense got beat a little bit today in aspect of going up against the first team offense. But it wasn't just like they were rolling over and dying. You had to make some really good throws to get the ball in there. There were a couple times where they were well covered, and Caleb Williams throws the ball out of bounds. Those are growth moments. Those are improvements. And to me, it goes back to what Caleb continues to talk about, what Ben continues to talk about making sure that you have the details down right, making sure that the details are perfect. And it seems like today, now there's still a couple of miscues there. We had to delay a game in a situational period where Caleb did a really nice job driving down the field. You got to see a little bit of that Caleb magic in there, right? Where he's rolling right. There's nothing there, ends up spinning back left, sees his man downfield. I believe that was, let me go to the notes here. I had these pulled up. Gonna make sure you're able to see what we got here. But I believe that was DJ Moore who ended up catching that deep ball. Yeah, DJ Moore, really, really nice deep ball there, and brought that in, and it was a big gain of about 30 on that one that got you into the red zone. And another thing that I like that Ben is doing is you've got a time limit. This is not you have all day to get this ball into the end zone and score. We got to be timely about this because we got other reps that other people have to get in. So they got to about the one. There was a nice finishing pass to DJ Moore there that got him to the 1 yard line, but their time was up. So they end up taking them off of the field. But I just thought When you're talking about those huge – I'm sorry, I said that was the DJ Moore. That was to Olamide Zacchaeus that caught that one, the gain of 30 on 3rd and 4. The DJ Moore pass was the one that got to the 1-yard line. But when you talk about, right, the consistent growing and understanding the details and figuring the game out day by day by day, the thing that I said in mini camp to me continues to ring true here. Caleb is getting the information. He's learning the information. He's taking it in. And then the next day, he's building on that information. He's not living on everything that happened yesterday. He's building on that information. And to me, those are things that you cannot overlook when you're talking about growth from the quarterback position and how you're starting to see some of these successes play out here. I thought it was very big as well the day that we saw from Luther Burden. Luther Burden continued to just go out there and look like, I'm going to be honest with you, one of the best receivers on the field today. I don't even think that's too much to say because there were times where he was lined up against Tyreek Stevenson. We saw him in some one-on-one situations as well when they were doing individuals, and it just looked like guys couldn't keep up with him. Like his footwork was there, the hands were there. Loved what we saw from that aspect of it. And again, I go back to, I know this morning, right? I'm sitting there telling you 2/3 speed. I can't take much from that. No pads. They're in shells. This is full pads. This is full speed. This is full tackling, ladies and gentlemen. This was playing football out there today. Guys were going to the ground. I think Kyle Monungai got lit up on one play up the middle, right? Like when you talk about growth of the offense, Luther Burden's been in this offense essentially for 3 practices. You had kind of him in individuals or through walkthrough. Then he gets into individuals. Today he's in the team period, and he's looking like one of the better wide receivers on the field. I thought it was a good day for a lot of names on the offensive side of the ball today. Even DeAndre Swift had a couple of nice – and I think this is kind of, the Swift conversation is he going to be the big play guy? We're seeing Swift get runs up the middle for 3-4 yards a couple of times in a row, putting you in a 3rd and 2 situation. That's the thing that when we talked to TJ Edwards, he said that's what caused us to struggle with the run game last year. They put you in these tough situations on 1st and 2nd down, and it opens up the playbook for them where they can go run, they can go pass, they can do anything here, and you gotta kind of game plan off of that. I think that that's something that Ben Johnson is expecting to see a lot more of here. You had Luther Burden in some big plays there. You had DeAndre Swift in some of the grinded out plays, and it was just a really good overall practice for the offense. I left today truly, truly pleased with what we saw on the practice field. I'm not going to sit here and say it's the greatest day of practice we've ever seen, but it's one of the better days of practice I think we could say we've seen under the last few coaching staffs here. We have like those practices where Flus would come in and be like, oh, what a great day of practice today. I mean, we dominated. We fixed all the mistakes. Like that's kind of what the day felt like if you were out there watching it. But hey, man, let me know how you guys feel in the comments below. I'll be down there talking with you as well. Do you like what you're seeing, what you're hearing from Caleb Williams? Do you feel like this is going to be something that the Bears are going to be able to really continue to build on week over week? We'll see what ends up happening with that. Something else that I thought really stood out today that we got to have a conversation on, Jaylen Johnson. This is an interesting one here because I think this is the first time, and correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, I believe that this was the first time that we've seen we've heard Ben Johnson say that Jaylen Johnson is going to be out at least till week 1, that he's expecting him to come back at least at week 1, which means he's missing the entire offseason program. Now, I'm not concerned about Jaylen. I'm more concerned about now, what the injury is that has this long-term, I guess, lead time on it here. Like, we hadn't heard. All we heard was that he got banged up in practice. We haven't heard about, it being some major injury, but it's something that's going to keep him out a while here. Maybe it is very similar to what Luther Burden was dealing with, a hamstring injury, which, by the way, Luther Burden's hamstring looks perfect. Yeah, I mean, like how he's running routes out there. Maybe it is just something as simple as that, as he's got a hammy. Only way to fix it is to deal with rest. But the first time hearing that he's going to be out till week 1, that's a long time. And with what Dennis Allen said yesterday about this DB2 conversation, now you're having a conversation on, okay, who's the best DB on the field just in case Jaylen Johnson isn't ready to go week 1, just in case Jaylen Johnson isn't up the schedule, because he didn't give you a guaranteed date or time on that. Like, you may have Tyreek Stevenson going up against Justin Jefferson week 1. Like we've seen that situation play out. That's not a great situation for you to be in. You may be relying on Terrell Smith and Nashawn Wright a heck of a lot more than you thought you were going to, which it's good to see, right? The kind of camp that Nashawn Wright has had and how it does seem like you have two really solid DB groups or two really solid cornerbacks out there that can go out there and play. Of course, you've got Kyler Gordon out there, and how they're going to use Jaquan Brisker, how they're going to use Kyler Gordon is going to play an impact on that. And I mean, you may even see some Ruben Hippolyte getting in the conversation. That boy is fast, dog. But I think the big thing to me, especially in the conversation of how this defense is going to operate moving forward, is okay, who's truly standing out as the best DB on the field? And this may not just be a DB2 conversation. This may not be the second cornerback. This may be, hey, bud, first week, second week, it might be you versus the best wide receiver. If you want to argue Jamar Chase, I understand the argument, but the best wide receiver in the NFL right now. That's a situation that I don't think that the Bears were expecting to be in here. Hopefully we get Jaylen Johnson back on the field by that week one. But even if we do in week one, which version of Jaylen Johnson are you going to have? He's probably going to be the version that hasn't played a ton of football in the offseason and is coming back off of an injury. So we'll see, like I said, what ends up happening. I'm excited to see, how this team is going to continue to develop, how this defense is going to continue to develop. I like a lot of what Dennis Allen has put together. I would say this was more of an offensive day than a defensive day because of some of the big plays that we saw. Tyson Bagent had a nice play to Luther Burden. There was a lot of things that you could take from that. But I mean, in the long run of things right now, there is that major concern of Jaylen Johnson not being healthy. And hopefully, that's something that is a non-story by the time we get into the regular season here. Let me know how you guys feel. Are you concerned at all about Jaylen Johnson being out? Let me know in the comments below. I'll be down there talking with you guys as well. The final thing that I wanted to hit on today, we got to see the left tackle competition. This is a big day because Ben Johnson kind of alluded previously that this may be the day where, or it's tomorrow's off day, maybe the day where, he's going to start to take a look and say, okay, who are the people that are supposed to be in place here? Who are the people that I feel confident putting in this position to be the starter? This is where he's going to start looking at that film, and he's probably looked at it the entire way and has an inkling of it. And to me, I think that because we saw a lot of Karan today with the number ones, and Karan Amagaji, to me, I think that since I talked about it the other day, right, that he's fallen behind, I felt like this was kind of a go out there and prove. I'm going to give you every opportunity to prove why you should be the starting left tackle, why you should be in this competition, because it feels like to me he's the one that's the farthest behind. Seemed like there was a little bit more confidence in Ozzie. When Ozzie got out there with the number ones, he looked very competent out there. And again, I tell you, you watch Ozzie and you just go, yep, I don't got to worry about that because he's making the right play. Braxton got out there with the number ones a little bit as well, but not as much. Like, it felt like this was a day for Karan to go out there and prove, hey, you should still be a part of this competition. And I don't think that he did that very well. There was a lot of Dio Adangbo getting past him. There was a lot of him, trying to overextend on a play and getting beat to the other direction. And with all that being said, again, this goes back kind of to the Caleb point. Caleb getting the ball out really quick. It didn't affect him in the play, but that may be very different when that's Trey Hendrickson coming off the edge, or when it's, like Nick, take your pick on when Micah Parsons coming off of the edge. Now, Ozzie's not going to have the easiest start. I know everybody wants Ozzie to get up in here and win this job, but like Ozzie's first 5 weeks, if he's the starting DB or starting left tackle, is going to be, welcome to the fire. Try not to fry. Like it's going to be a rough start for an NFL career. But listen, if you're the best man that's out there, you're the one that's going to win this job. And to me, it's just from my vantage point, Karan just doesn't look like the best that is out there. And we saw a ton of him today, and it was a ton of, he got away from him. He got past him. He made a move on that. Yep, that was quick. He didn't get out there. There was a couple of reps that I looked at and I was like, good rep, Karan. I like what I saw there, but not enough of those for me to feel good about him at that left tackle spot as of now. We'll see what this ends up playing out to be. Again, Karan, very young. Offensive linemen sometimes take time. I'm not telling you he can never be a player. Heck, I think he could be a backup guard on this team and maybe start working him in some at that point, but we'll see what ends up playing out. At the end of the day, good day for the Bears overall. Good day for the defense by the end of practice. Got some big stops there that slowed up the offense. And I thought it was a good back and forth. We'll see how this plays out moving forward, but I'm excited where we're at on day 8 of this thing. I know it feels like it's been 6 weeks. It's been 8 practices, and we're seeing an offense come together. Stop acting like we've seen that before. As always, man, it's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Big Bear Dons, let me know how you guys feel in the comments below. I'll be down there talking with you guys as well. Bear Don, one love. Peace.